All right, let's talk about a word that we all think about, probably more than we'd like to admit, and that word is success. It's this huge idea that we're all chasing, right? But for most of us, it feels like we've been handed a puzzle with half the pieces missing. We know what we want the final picture to look like, kinda, but how to actually get there? That's the mystery. So today, let's try to find those missing pieces. Let's really break down the blueprint.
But hang on, before we dive into any blueprints or roadmaps, I want you to just take a second. Seriously, pause and ask yourself, what does success actually mean to you? Not to your parents, not to your friends, not to what you see online, to you. Is it a corner office and a fancy job title? Is it hitting a certain number in your bank account? Or is it something different? Maybe it's the freedom to create what you want when you want. Or maybe it's just having deep, real, meaningful relationships. There's no right answer, and figuring out your personal answer, well, that's where this whole journey begins.
And that's the absolute key to all of this. There's no one-size-fits-all definition. For one person, it's building a business that changes the world. For someone else, it's raising a kind, happy family. It's all valid. But here's the interesting part. Even though our destinations are all wildly different, the core principles, the actual steps for the journey, are surprisingly and thankfully very, very similar.
So where does a journey like this actually start? You might think it's with a business plan or a new gym membership or some big external move, but it's not. The real journey starts somewhere much quieter. It starts right here, inside your own head. Because before you can build anything lasting out there in the world, you absolutely have to win the battle that's happening within.
I want you to think back to some of the toughest times you've ever been through. You know, the setbacks that felt personal, the long nights where you felt like you were getting nowhere, the flat-out failures. It's so easy to look at those moments and think life is just punishing you, right? But what if we reframed that? What if those moments aren't punishments at all? What if they're the training ground? Every single struggle is forging you, preparing you to be strong enough, wise enough, and resilient enough to actually handle the success you're working so hard for.
I absolutely love this analogy. Think about it. A diamond is just a lump of carbon until it undergoes immense, intense pressure. That pressure is what transforms it. It's what creates the clarity, the strength, the brilliance. And it's the exact same for us. Those moments of extreme pressure, the ones that feel like they might break you, they're not breaking you, they're making you. That struggle isn't a sign that you're off track, it's proof that you're in the process of becoming something brilliant.
Okay, so as we're being formed under this pressure, these, well, let's call them internal enemies, they always show up to the party. We all know them intimately, don't we? The fear of failing, the fear of what people will think, the endless list of excuses our brains are so good at creating, and of course that nagging voice of self-doubt. These aren't just bad moods, they are roadblocks. They are the stories our minds tell us to keep us safe in our comfort zone. But what they really do is keep us small.
So how in the world do you fight these enemies and get past those roadblocks? Well, it usually comes down to a big showdown between two very different forces, motivation and discipline. We all love motivation. It feels incredible. It's that spark, that bolt of lightning that makes you want to conquer the world. But sparks, by their very nature, fade out. Discipline is the engine. It's not flashy, it doesn't always feel good, but it's what you rely on when the feelings are gone and it's cold and dark and you still have to get up and do the work. It's what actually gets the job done day in and day out.
And this idea of a bridge is just the perfect way to picture it. Imagine your goal is on one side of a massive canyon, and where you are right now is on the other. That goal can be crystal clear in your mind, but if you don't have a bridge to get there, it's just a nice view. Motivation might inspire you to look at the other side, but discipline is what makes you pick up the tools every single day and build that bridge plank by plank until you can safely walk across. All right, so once we start building that inner foundation, that discipline, the game shifts. It becomes all about translating that internal decision into small, real-world daily actions. See, your future isn't something that's magically going to appear 5 years from now.
Your future is being built piece by piece by the things you choose to do or not do today. And this quote from Zig Ziglar just cracks me up because it's so brilliantly true and simple. Nobody takes a shower on Monday and then is surprised when they need another one on Tuesday. We accept it as daily maintenance. Well, motivation is exactly the same. It's not a one-time thing. You can't just go to a seminar or watch one inspiring video and expect to be set for life. It's a daily practice. It's mental and emotional hygiene. This piece of wisdom, which goes all the way back to Aristotle, takes that idea even deeper. We tend to think of excellence as this one big moment, the game-winning shot, the sold-out performance, the big product launch. But that's not what it is. That's the result of excellence. True excellence is forged in the thousands of quiet, consistent, and often mind-numbingly boring habits that you do every single day when nobody is clapping for you. In the end, we don't become what we want, we become what we repeatedly do.
Okay, so how do we actually build this into our lives? Let's make it super practical. First, start with tiny wins. I mean tiny. Make your bed, drink a glass of water. It sounds silly, but it starts a chain reaction of accomplishment. Second, feed your mind good stuff. What you consume matters. Third, visualize. Actually see yourself succeeding. Fourth, gratitude. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. But the most important one is the last one. Take action. We have it backward most of the time. We wait to feel motivated to act. The secret is to act first, even a small action, and the feeling of motivation will catch up. Action creates motivation.
Now, we need to have a very real talk about this journey. It is not a straight line. It's long, it's winding, and there will be days you want to give up. There will be setbacks. And this is the moment where the real separation happens. This is where we see the difference between people who dream and people who do. It all comes down to the art of not quitting. Let's look at a perfect example. We all know the story of Harry Potter, right? It's one of the biggest success stories of our lifetime, a complete global phenomenon. It feels like it was destined to be a hit. But the origin story? Well, it's a powerful lesson in persistence because it began with a whole lot of rejection. 12. Just let that number sink in for a second. 12 different publishers looked at that manuscript and said, no thanks. Can you even imagine the resilience it took? Getting that 10th rejection letter, then the 11th, and still having the belief to put it in an envelope and send it out one more time? The world would have never known about Hogwarts or The Boy Who Lived if she had given up after rejection number 11. And this idea is as old as time. This quote from Confucius nails it. The journey to success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon of just putting one foot in front of the other. Progress is not always about giant leaps. Most of the time, real, lasting progress is just about refusing to stand still. It's about taking one more step, no matter how tiny it feels. So, we've talked about the inner mindset, we've talked about the power of daily, consistent action, and we've covered the absolute necessity of persistence. Now let's bring it all home with the final, and frankly, the most critical ingredient in this whole blueprint. And that ingredient is you. Because here's the ultimate truth. You can have the best plan, the most discipline, the grittiest persistence in the world, but if you don't have that foundational layer of self-belief, the whole structure will collapse. Other people will doubt you, that's almost a guarantee, but that's just noise. The moment you truly start to doubt yourself, that's when the game is over. Before anyone else in the entire world believes in your dream, you have to. It is the absolute, non-negotiable price of entry. And please, don't think of this as just some selfish pursuit. This isn't just about getting something for yourself. It's about what you can contribute. The problems you can solve, the people you can help, the inspiration your story will provide to someone else who's just starting out. The world does not need another copy of someone else's success. It needs your unique, authentic story. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready to finally sit down and write it? So as you go out to start writing that story, just hold this one final thought close. Success is not a lottery ticket you stumble upon. It is a cathedral you build, brick by boring brick. It's not created in one spectacular, heroic moment.
It's built in the thousands of small, consistent, and courageous choices you make day after day after day. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Go build your story.